The summary of everything that is mentioned in this video is taken from the total market capitalization of the currency. I would also like to remind you to give my channel a like and subscribe to it so that you can stay up to date on future XRP news as well as other cryptocurrency news in general. Take a look at this now, shall we? CC accusations against Binance in a regulatory action have been dismissed by the United States District Court. The United States Court of Appeals has ruled that secondary transactions in Bitcoin tokens do not qualify as securities. The court has decided not to pursue the securities allegations that CQ has brought against Binance. According to the ruling, the SEC's strategy for regulating cryptocurrencies is flawed. The United States District Court for the District of Columbia has dismissed significant claims brought up by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) against Binance. To put it simply, the court has rejected the notion that some transactions in cryptocurrency tokens that take place on the secondary market constitute securities. Consequently, this verdict will have a significant impact on the manner in which the SEC governs the Bitcoin business. While xrp Labs has submitted a notice of additional authority in an effort to bolster his position in the current legal fight with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the company has also submitted a notice of additional authority. On behalf of the SEC, this document was presented to the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York in response to their request for remedies and a final decision. In the SEC v. Ripple makes use of the Binance rule, which is a decision that was handed down not too long ago by the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. The core of the defense is the 23 CV1599 FGZM-E, which serves as the foundation. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) raised allegations that Binance had marketed unregistered securities. On June 28, 2024, Binance issued a decision that partially accepted and partially dismissed the allegations. It was determined by the court that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) did not produce sufficient evidence to indicate that securities trades included secondary market deals on cryptocurrency exchanges through the use of BME tokens. Because of the decision's analytical similarities to the legal fights that Ripple is now engaged in, the company considers it to be an important precedent. You should keep reading. A fan of Ripple named John Dayton has expressed his disapproval of the SEC chair for inflicting harm on small investors. The crucial observation that the Binance court made was that intangible digital assets do not fit cleanly within the criteria that is outlined in the mere 7 pages that compose the Howey opinion. This is something that Ripple's legal team emphasizes in its comprehensive reference to the Binance ruling. Emphasizes a problem that is frequently discussed in the context of the regulation of digital assets, which is the difficulty of applying traditional securities law to modern digital assets. Furthermore, the criticism that the court expresses regarding the fragmented litigation approach employed by the SEC was brought up. Furthermore, the submission makes note of the fact that it is highly unlikely to be an effective method of proceeding, and that it runs the danger of producing inconsistent results, which could leave the relevant parties and their potential customers without any clear direction. The agency's choice to monitor this industry worth billions of dollars through litigation, case after case, coin by coin, court after court, and so on. A bigger criticism of the SEC's regulatory stance within the Bitcoin industry is reflected in this, which is representative of the criticism. Ripple also makes the case for judicial clarity on the legality of XRP sales, which was emphasized as an essential result of the court's earlier summary judgment. Ripple's argument is that the court should clarify the legality of XRP sales. It was stated in the brief. Providing clarity on the legality of the various sorts of sales of XRP is the most significant component of the court's summary judgment order, according to Ripple's reasoning, which is supported by this observation. Underscoring the significance of certainty for both its operations and the Bitcoin sector as a whole, Ripple notes that regulatory clarity prior to the court's ruling strengthened its argument against large penalties. This highlights the fact that Ripple is advocating for the necessity of certainty. In addition to that, the study delves into the many types of alleged infractions that Ripple committed. The SEC was unable to provide evidence that Ripple was reckless, thus the argument is being made that any recommended remedies should not be as severe as they are currently. Ripple's position that the court's finding of a strict liability violation on some of Ripple's sales, but far fewer than the SEC alleged were violations, does not reflect reckless disregard for the law, was stated by the company's attorney. This is due to the fact that there was a lack of regulatory clarity prior to that ruling, which was a point of contention. This further notification was submitted by Todd Feigl, Friedrich Pellel, and Data Voici Plimpton LP, who were acting in the capacity of counsel for Ripple Labs. A topic of intense legal, regulatory, and scholarly discussion as digital assets continue to defy established frameworks, their submission lends support to the company's more general claims. about the applicability of securities laws to Bitcoin transactions. In addition, their submission makes an attempt to refute the most recent motions that have been submitted by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SSA). The representations that the CK made concerning the investment contract that supported the sale of BND tokens in secondary marketplaces were considered insufficient by Judge Amy Berman Jackson. This lends credence to the conclusion that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) made a mistake when it classified the BUS stablecoin contract as an investment contract. The SEC was unable to provide evidence that such a contract existed due to the fact that the BUSD is backed by fiat currency and has a constant value. The court came to the conclusion that it is not possible for it to be considered a security and that it does not provide any expectations for investment. The findings of this study are in line with the findings of prior research carried out by a number of U.S. regulators who have not considered comparable stablecoins to be securities. In spite of the fact that the court dismissed some of the claims made by the SEC, it affirmed the legality of others, so ensuring that the legal process remains fair and impartial at this early point. In order to continue defending itself against the remaining claims, the finance sector must continue to demonstrate that certain transactions do not meet the conditions necessary to be classified as securities transactions. This case marks a significant turning point in the CC's participation with the cryptocurrency sector and has the potential to have an effect on the fee. Legislative framework that will be implemented in the near future. It is a part of a bigger effort for uniformity and clarity in the regulation of cryptocurrencies, as well as for policies that stimulate innovation and protect market integrity. The decision is a part of this larger push. During the course of the ongoing legal conflict between Ripple and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, there have been a great deal of recent developments. A notification of additional authority was most recently issued by the company in response to a ruling that was made regarding the cryptocurrency exchange Binance. The reasons presented by the regulator were dismissed by Judge Amy Jackson last week, who stated that the sales of Binance's Bitcoin on the secondary market did not meet the criteria for being considered securities transactions. At first glance, it would appear that Ripple intends to capitalize on that choice. Ripple's attorney, Michael Kellogg, intended for the recent verdict by the magistrates to bolster the company's contention that its apparently illegal sales of XRP do not deserve punitive sanctions, as the government asserts. Kellogg's stance is backed by the ruling. This conclusion lends credence to Ripple's argument that the most significant aspect of the court's decision regarding summary judgment was to provide clarity regarding the legality of the various XRP sales models. Ripple, on the other hand, contends that the court's finding of a strict liability violation on certain of its sales is significantly less than the total number of violations that the SEC said to have occurred. Due to the fact that there was a lack of regulatory clarity prior to that finding, does not reflect a reckless disregard for the law or call for punitive sanctions. Additionally, the document notes that the CC did not even allege recklessness as to rippling in its case. This is a significant revelation. The continuous conflict between the corporations that are regulated by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has led to developments that have repeatedly impacted the performance of the XRP market. As a result of the letter that was sent, the price of the token went up, and it has been somewhat positive every day since then. There are also other well-known cryptocurrencies, which include Bitcoin and Ethereum. Betcav, on the other hand, had a considerable decline throughout the course of the preceding day. When it comes to the prospective conclusion of the case, one of the primary issues is the point of conflict, which is the breadth of the Ripple sentence.